All right, let's get into it. You might not know it, but there's a piece of tech in millions of new cars that's always on, always active, and, well, it's always watching you, the driver. And no, this isn't some sci-fi movie stuff. It's a real, silent co-pilot that's designed to save your life. Today, we're going to break down exactly what driver monitoring systems are all about.
I mean, really think about that for a second. You know that long drive, maybe it's late at night. What if your car could kind of tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you're starting to drift off? That right there, that's the core promise of the technology we're digging into today.
So here's the game plan. We're going to look at what this digital co-pilot is, how it actually sees you, the huge safety benefits, then we'll get into the problems and controversies, and finally, we'll peek into the future to see what's next for this in-car tech.
Okay, so let's jump right in. What exactly is this system that's, keeping an eye on us while we drive?
A driver monitoring system, or DMS, is at its heart a safety feature. It uses a little camera inside the car, often an infrared one, so it can see you even in the dark, to track your face, your head position, and most importantly, your eyes. The whole point is to spot those little telltale signs that you might be getting tired or distracted or just not fully focused on driving.
And this is a big deal. We're not talking about solving a minor inconvenience here. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, we're looking at over 800 deaths every single year just from drowsy driving. Now add in all the other distractions like our phones, and you can start to see why this technology is getting such a huge push from car makers and regulators.
Okay, so how does it actually do that? How can a camera tell the difference between you just glancing at your side mirror versus dangerously zoning out? It's actually a pretty cool three-step process. First, it monitors. That little camera is constantly tracking stuff like how fast you're blinking, if your eyelids are drooping, where you're looking. Second, an AI algorithm analyzes all that data in real time. It's looking for patterns. Is your head starting to nod? Are you looking down at your lap for too long? And third, if it thinks there's a risk, it alerts you. It could be a sound, a flashing light on the dash, or even a buzz in the steering wheel.
And those alerts? They're not just a generic beep anymore. They're getting smarter and way more direct. Some systems will just tell you straight up, like this one, please don't use cell phone. It's designed to be impossible to ignore and cut right through whatever was grabbing your attention.
Now, you might be surprised to hear this tech isn't brand new. Toyota was way ahead of the curve, rolling out the first version on a Lexus back in 2006. Fast forward to 2017, and Cadillac made it a core part of its hands-free Super Cruise system. And now, it's hitting the mainstream in a big way. The European Union is actually going to mandate it in all new cars by 2026. So yeah, it's gone from a fancy luxury feature to a must-have safety standard. So obviously, this whole thing is meant to make us safer. But the benefits, well, they go way beyond just giving you a nudge when you're getting sleepy. The number one benefit, of course, is preventing crashes. But there are some serious financial perks, too. For big truck fleets, and even for us regular drivers, safer driving can mean lower insurance bills. The system can even spot bad habits that waste fuel, like slamming on the brakes. And get this, in those crazy cash-for-crash scams where people try to fake an accident, the video evidence can be a total game changer.
And because of all these benefits, the market for this stuff is absolutely exploding. It's on track to more than double in just a decade, hitting over $10 billion by 2035. This isn't some niche gadget. It is quickly becoming a central piece of the auto industry.
And what's really interesting is where that growth is happening. You might think this tech is mostly for long-haul truckers, right? But the data shows that almost 2/3 of the market is actually in passenger vehicles. Yep, the cars and SUVs that most of us are driving every day. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. No new technology is perfect, and DMS is definitely facing some pretty significant growing pains. This isn't as simple as just plugging it in and driving off.
And this is where we get to the really tough conversations. The elephant in the room for a lot of people is privacy. I mean, the idea of a camera always watching you, it's a little unnerving. Then there's the cost, which can drive up the price of cars. The tech itself isn't foolproof either. It can still get tripped up by stuff like sunglasses or really bright sun glare. And legally, it's a bit of a gray area. Who's at fault if the system messes up and an accident still happens?
To tackle that big privacy worry, regulators are already jumping in. The EU's big safety regulation, for example, is super clear about this. It basically says the data from these cameras has to stay in the car. It can't be saved, it can't be shared with anyone, and it has to be deleted right after it's processed. It's a direct attempt to build some trust with drivers who are wary of Big Brother in their dashboard.
So where does this all go from here? Well, just watching the driver, that's really just the beginning. This technology is laying the groundwork for the next generation of truly smart cars.
And this brings us to its most important job in the future, making semi-autonomous driving work safely. For cars that can handle most of the driving themselves, they still need to be able to hand control back to a human when things get tricky. DMS is the system that makes sure that human is actually awake, alert, and ready to take the wheel. Without it, those higher levels of self-driving just aren't possible. It's absolutely crucial. And the potential is just wow. This technology can evolve into so much more. The same sensors could one day monitor your health, maybe even detect a medical emergency like a heart attack. They could use your face as a key to start the car. They could sense your mood and change the music or lighting to make your drive better. And maybe one of the most important things, they can scan the whole car to make sure a child or a pet hasn't been accidentally left behind.
Which brings us right back to the final, really critical question. This tech offers incredible potential for safety, but it comes at the cost of being constantly monitored. There's a fundamental trade-off here, isn't there? It's between our privacy and our protection, between human control and a machine watching over us. And as this digital co-pilot becomes a standard feature in every car, that's a question we're all going to have to answer for ourselves.